Hello, how are you guys? Happy Thursday. Thank you guys for joining me today. Um, Make sure you leave me in the comments if you're joining me right now live, which obviously I can see you if you are. But if you're not and you're joining me after, feel free to let me know what you think about this video and go ahead and play along with me. And we're going to be talking about your why today. We're gonna be talking about your why and what the why is. So for those that don't know, I'll go a little bit into what the why is. If you already know and you heard about it, then I hope this content is still really good for you because I'm gonna expand a little bit on it. In reality, we all have a why, we just don't know it. So it's super important to discover it. Being Really the main point is being intentional. If you're being intentional, you're always going to get the best results because you know what the hell you're doing, right? It's like you're about to drive out from your house and you're going somewhere, and what do you do? If you already know how to get there, you take the streets to get there, right? You take the route that you're familiar with, or you can be like, you know what, I'm going to go around, I'm going to take a different route because I know I will be there faster or safer or whatever. Or you can turn on your GPS and you can get there. The GPS will tell you the best way, avoid traffic, avoid ferries, avoid the freeway, etc. Right? But you're being intentional because you're plugging in the address. I mean, there is a time where you can just drive somewhere and just drive off and don't stop until you know you gotta stop, and you just want to take that as some sort of I don't know, a reason to think, right? And I haven't heard that in a long time, but some people will do that. You know, for some people, it's very relaxing and it's a growth worthy to drive somewhere. People love driving, right? But talking about our day to day, that is exactly what our why is. There's a reason, right? And your work. You're being intentional about it. So that being said, it's super important that for you guys that already know what a why is and you already delved into it, or you maybe have done some brainstorming, you've done exercises before, to understand and know what your why is. The key component is being intentional. So we have to be intentional in life, period. I think that's something that is a very tied down to success. Like if you're trying to reach any type of success, you have to be intentional. And yesterday or the day before, we talked about, our thoughts and the power they have and changing our thinking, and how that defines us, as well as identity, focusing on finding out our identity, right? That tells a lot of what's going to happen in our life, and things of that sort. So it's super important that we are intentional in absolutely everything we do, and the why is super important to be intentional. So if you guys read the header, it says talk about your why until you cry, and what that really comes from is that they say that if someone asks me, for example, well, Raul, what is your why? And I answer, what do you mean? Yeah, what is the why? For example, what is a why where you decided to start your own business or start a venture or be an entrepreneur, let's just say, right? Do something else. What is your why? And I'm like, well, I want to make money, right? Who doesn't want to make money, right? Okay, so why? I'm like, what do you mean? Why do you want to make money? Oh, because I want to do whatever I want, be able to afford whatever I can, right? And they're like, why? Well, because there's things that I want to get that are awfully expensive, and having a normal job cannot grant me those things. So even if I were to save my whole life, I wouldn't be able to get them. Why? Oh, because I want these things. For example, I want to be able to help people, and I can't help people when I can even help myself. Why? Oh, I want to help people because I think helping people is super important, and it helps me feel fulfilled, and it helps me be closer to God. Why? Oh, because I have a purpose and I feel like helping people is part of my purpose. So I want to use money as a vehicle to get there. So as you start digging deep into the why, you're going to start getting closer into what the actual why is. So at first, and now keep this in mind, not everybody's going to be so deep. So they say that there's 7 levels of why, but it could also be 4 or 5. It could be less. It just depends. Some people are just not deep. Hey, I just want money. I just need money. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? In the end, money is there for us to get it. Money exchanges hands, faster than a lot of different things. The purpose of money is for it to be exchanged. Wealth is being transferred. That's one thing that is for sure. So in the end, it's like, well, why not me? Hey, I want to be part of it. But when you start really thinking about your why, you start asking yourself these questions, or maybe you can do this exercise with someone else who's trying to discover their why. They can help you get to the bottom of it. And I feel that once you get to the bottom of it and you understand it better, then you're more intentional, and then you have better odds or better chances of getting places and being successful in what you're trying to do, because you understand what you're trying to do and why you're trying to do it. Let me give you guys another example of the why. Why are you doing this? Why are you starting your own business? I mean, you work 10 hours a day, you work 50 hours a week. You're a busy person as it is. Why are you doing this other part-time job? And I'm like, well, because I want money. Oh, like, okay, well, why do you want money? Oh, because I wanted to be able to afford a really nice house for my family. Why? Well, because I feel that my kids deserve the best. Why? Oh, because, maybe I didn't have all those opportunities when I was young, and I saw my parents struggle, and and they always told me to that they wanted to give me this and give me that, and they apologized when they didn't have it, or they always told me go to school and be the best you can be so you don't have to struggle like me. Why? And those are just different examples of how you can start digging deep into your why. You're going to find out who you are at the same time, because if a lot of people, we're so caught up in our daily day-to-day activities and all the struggles and everything we got to go through in life. Whoever says life is easy, life is not easy, but mindset makes it easier. Mindset makes it manageable. Mindset makes sense of life. So yeah, if you really analyze life, we're going to have a lot of difficulties. And like I was telling you guys the other day, the reason why there's all these difficulties is because God wants us to grow. So the sooner we get familiar with that and we get happy and accept the fact that we're meant to struggle to grow, the better our life will be. But obviously, we can all admit that life can be quite difficult. So it's super important to get in tune with your why, because we get so caught up with what's going on that we don't really know who we are. And maybe you are meant to help the world in a bigger level, right? You're meant to share things with the world, but you're so caught up in your own problems. It's like, man, how can I help anybody else? If I can even help myself, if I'm struggling, right? It's like someone is asking for money in the street. I'm like, damn, man, I only have $10 on me. If I give this person $1, I only have $9 left. That's 10% of my net worth at the moment. So the point being is that if you really want to be able to help people in a broader way, in a bigger way, you need the vehicle of money. You need the capital, because even to be able to reach people, whether it is via social media, whether it is putting together a bigger audience, putting together a conference, all these great people that we hear, how do you think that they put together all of this? Everything costs money. Everything. You want to rent a place, you want to make it available for this many people, you have to feed them, give them a snack, you have to have insurance for any liability, anything that might happen, right? You have to travel places to visit people, right? Everything starts from the very bottom and the very simple steps all the way to those very complicated things. As you start escalating, you're like, wow. Like I remember when I needed to pay my internet in order for me to go live and talk to people, to where like I need to pay a down payment on this place that I'm getting from this huge conference where there's going to be thousands of people who are going to come and listen to me. You don't know what your life is really, the potential where you can reach or you're destined to reach, obviously, until you start heading that direction. You start walking that way. You don't know how far you can reach people, how far your help can go. That's why it's important to really focus on the why Because I firmly believe that when people start on their why, maybe at first it's all about the money. Maybe at first, there's so many things I haven't talked about, like time freedom, having the freedom to, like, okay, you know what, I don't have to report somewhere for work for 8 hours, 6 hours, 10 hours. I can just, like, I'm going to decide to do this with my time. A lot of people do it because of that. Or, I want to be able to make friends, make connections, meet people, and that makes me happy. So guess what? That costs money as well, right? Because if you don't go to work and you're spending time with people, how are you going to survive? That's why it's so important. That so there's a why behind everything we do. There's a why behind me doing this live, me wanting to share with you guys something, which might not give me the monetary compensation right now, but I know that it is a seed being planted that can potentially change someone's life. I don't know if there's someone out there right now that maybe if they listen to this, they remember something important and it clicks on their brain, and something goes off and it's like, you know what? Like, what happened to me? I had my why, I had a reason, I had my interest. There's something that I wanted to do, and now there's something that changed, something that happened, that completely distracted me from the goal of my why. So I think that is the reason why, those are part of the reasons why I'm doing this and I'm going live, because I know that if you're able to influence a person's life, I always say this, you're able to influence a person's life, even one person that you're able to influence in that moment, that is how you leave behind a legacy. Those are the things that ultimately matter, because, everything's about human beings, right? Everything's about people. You know what I mean? We build things and you can destroy things, but a person being built, that's something magical, because once you change someone's life, that person has the potential to go and change 10 people's lives, and those 10 people can duplicate that into 100 people. So I think that is the most interesting part of the job that we do. All of us who get into, you know building ourselves, building the personal development and the mindset, those two things right there, people like us that get into building a mindset so we can build our business, because it takes mindset. You're not able to succeed in this business if we don't have the right mindset. And by no means am I saying that I have the right mindset. I believe that everyone is going to continue learning and growing as time passes, and also life changes, things change in life, so we continue developing and growing because people continue developing and growing. But what I'm saying is that you have to have a certain mindset to really help you stick to the process once you found what's meant to be for you. So once you found your destiny, once you found what you're meant to be, you really need to work on the mindset and building that mindset and polishing the mindset and comforting the mindset and babysitting the mindset. Mindset is ultimately going to be the key to success. And that's all of us that get into this whole, like, let me build a business from home. Let me start being an entrepreneur. Let me share stuff with people. Let me help others. Let me motivate. Because what happens is that, for example, people go to work and they do their job and then they go home. But the manager, the leader, or the owner of the business, they have a lot more things to worry about. They have to hire people and train them. And that can be very difficult, right? It is more of a responsibility. You got to hire the right person, and then you got to give them the best training possible, and then develop them and coach them and also discipline them when it comes to. What about the time where you need to terminate somebody and they have a family? But you got to think about the business, right? You got to think about the way that life is meant to be. So same for us. I want to start something from home where I can help others with something, whether it is that you guys sell something, or you're in the health and wellness and you help other people get fit or healthy, or whether it is that you sell a service or you provide something for other people so they can benefit from it. Guess what's going to be super important for you guys to succeed and to see this opportunity through? It's going to be your mindset. Mindset is going to be the number one ingredient. And with that mindset, as you're developing that, you need to work with your why, which is what this video is all about. What is the reason, the sole purpose that so many of us get up in the morning and go to work? Even maybe we're not so happy with the job we have. Like, oh, well, I have kids, I have children, I have a family, I'm married now, I just bought a home. Like, I may not like my job, but I just got a home, or I just got a car, and I pay 600, 700, $800 a month in my car, which I love my car, and you barely get to drive it because you spend so much time at work. But there's a reason why you're doing what you're doing. You know, one thing that I like to say is that make sure that whatever it is that you do in life, you do what you love, because if not, you're going to be pretty miserable. Best thing to do if you're going to be happy is to get closer to doing what you love, right? So that's why it's important that to really remember that mindset is ultimately going to shape your life to be the best that it can be. And being intentional with your why and getting to know why is the reason that you do what you do is also going to help you so much, because it's going to get you everything that you want in life. Knowing your why and being intentional is going to get you to get everything that you want in life, because you're going to know who you are, going to know your identity, you're going to know your goals, you're going to know where you're going, you're going to do all the right things to get there. So that's all I wanted to share with you guys. If you guys have anything to say, any comments or anything to share, please do so. If you want to reach out to me personally in chat, feel free to do so as well. And share this with anyone that you think that can benefit from this, anyone that you think that needs to hear this. That's the sole purpose of this video, is for me to give you guys a little something that maybe you can use, or someone they can use. And that way we can all have a powerful mindset that's going to help us achieve those things we want to achieve in this life. So until next time, I'll be catching up with you guys on the next video, and hope you guys can join me then. Peace.